Ja, da skal jeg ønske velkommen til den norske offentlige undervisningen den 22. mars 2017. Og i kveld blir det ikke veldig mye tid til barneundervisning, dessverre. Vi føler jo at det er viktig å få med de grunnleggende også, men samtidig så har Mr. Keshe litt nyheter og en del viktig undervisning ifra siste offentlige undervisning, nummer 163 fra den 16. mars. Så vi blir nesten nødt til å ta med det. Host og budbringer er Willy Østli. Co-host og budbringer er Eva Krarup. Så hvis det ikke er noen som har noe spesielt å si, så tenker jeg vi bare starter introen, så vi kommer i gang.
You are people listening from every corner of this planet. No knowledge has been dispersed so beautifully, so balanced across the planet, on this planet ever, maybe in the universe. You have the full potential of achieving everything in the universe. There is no need and there is no reason for man not to achieve. So, wherever you are, the way I taught you to make the coils double coil inside, you have continuous equal gravitational magnetic field, and if you put CO2 on it, put zinc on it, you have connected the emotion of the man to it on a stable condition, and you'll find out you become a very peaceful man. Here, instead of having galaxies and universes and creating connection magnetically, we have used the matter state gravitational magnetic field strength to dominate and dictate the shape of the plasma. The nano-technology, the nano-material which you have collectively developed in different ways by caustic, by electric currents, by whatever, fire or whatever, has that advantage that the matter, the nano and the plasma is all the same. So connection is very solid, it's very strong. The power of the plasma technology, the way we have thought, is beyond imagination of the mind. Now you can create and control the plasma, which is the mother of the creation of the universe. You are given the seed of the essence of the creation. The foundation does not belong to no one and is not made of one anymore. You are developing it, you are structuring it, and from today we will be still the same. We'll still develop the technology in different names, in different colors, in different nationalities which they do not exist. It is beautiful when we see the Christian, the Muslims, the Jews, and every other belief are working together to build up systems. We have already become one faith. We already have become one nation, and we already become one planet. You got to remember one thing. Dates is irrelevant. Today is the last day of the Christian calendar, or tomorrow is the beginning of another. One day is connected to another. we don't stop. We are working around the clock. The Keshe Foundation team is working irrespective of time, position, religion, country. And now we achieve what we set out for.
The Keshe Foundation is extending an invitation to medical doctors of any practice and speciality to apply to the Foundation's private weekly medical teaching workshop. This includes medical doctors, dentists, and veterinarians. Scientists of the Keshe Foundation developed different types of plasma therapies and cures that utilize advanced non-invasive plasma technology. The weekly private medical teaching workshop educates doctors to the plasma science behind the therapies, along with the functionality and operation of revolutionary plasma medical devices. The goal of the private teachings is to add plasma health knowledge to the profound knowledge of medical doctors. The weekly class is broadcast live over the internet through a secure private channel every Wednesday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central European Time. Presently, the class is only offered in English. However, you are free to bring a translator to the class. If you can't participate in the live broadcast, you can watch them later at your convenience through a private internet portal. Every patient's case that is discussed in the workshop will be kept anonymous and private. This includes catalogued findings and data gained from the analysis of the patient's health issues. Any medical doctor in the world who wants to participate can do so by sending an email to doctors@spaceshipinstitute.org. In your email, please state your willingness to participate in the medical teaching workshop. If you're planning on bringing a translator to the workshop, please state this in your email as well. After we receive your email, we will contact you with the instructions on how to apply to the workshop. As a part of the application process, applicants who apply, including any translators brought into the workshop, will be required to sign the Keshe Foundation's World Peace Treaty, which can be found at the following web address. All applicants will be required to provide proof of their education and ability to practice medicine, and will also be required to pass an extensive security background check before they are granted access to the teaching workshop. Healthful plasma technology is here, now, the use of which is increasing exponentially on a day-to-day basis on every continent. We encourage you to come and learn about this revolutionary technology. Apply today.
Sånn. Da skal jeg bare passe på å si det at dere må huske på at dette er auto-oversetting. Så linken til de som har lyst til å være med og hjelpe til å få dette rettet til riktig norsk med meningen til Mr. Keshe, blir satt ut i chatten. Så kan hvem som helst bare ta kontakt, og dere får opplæring i hvordan dere skal gjøre det. Hvis dere har lyst til å bidra. Det kan anbefales på det sterkeste, hvis man har lyst til å ha litt forståelse, litt raskere, det er mye lettere å forstå når man sitter og lytter på det på en helt annen måte når man oversetter eller eventuelt er med og transkriber den engelske teksten, sånn at man kan faktisk være i stand til å få til den norske oversettingen i det hele tatt. Bare så det jeg har sagt. Så blir det et tett program. Vi har 2 fulle timer. Men det blir... Jeg skal I hvert fall holde møtet åpent, så at de som vil kan eventuelt stille noen spørsmål og være med og snakke litt om noe de lurer på, hvis det det. Så tenker jeg vi bare starter det, hvis det ikke noen som har noe å innvende.
Show today, so without further ado, let's see if we can connect with Mr. Keshe.
Ja, jeg vil bare si fra det kommer cirka en halvtime med nyheter først. Og det viktig, så vi får ta med det. Og så blir det direkte på undervisning etterpå.
There. Is that you in the background there, Mr. Keshe?
Yes, good morning. Day to you as usual, whenever and wherever you listen to these knowledge seekers. I was asked and I've received a number of communications in respect to the back end of the teaching of last week. Why we have gone and opened in respect to the question of Mr. DL. This thing cannot be isolated. We've been told by the securities, we've been told by the police. There are certain things when we release, the response brings back more information for them. And in a way, last week, disclosures, and now that the security has released, the companies which now, one has been claimed to be a fake, which is a government website, because now it shows what they call it, defrauding the Belgian government since 1980s, has been called a fake, and we've been asked and we've been told, why do you carry on? You have to understand one thing. Our problem is not ours. These people are creating problems for themselves in a way of, as we saw with the Sterling. They have got away with so much that they challenge us, see if you can capture me. And in one of their comments last week, we have been reported to be said, I'm still free. So it means the person is already criminal. That has pushed the police and intelligence and securities to go further. A man who says, I'm still free, it means I've done something wrong, you haven't caught me yet. This is an admission to guilt and defrauding. What has happened is that since last week, since the disclosures of the companies in Panama, in Luxembourg, in Australia, and the Singapore one, which has not been released yet, all brings to the one point that the setup to destroy scientists, to destroy the work of scientists, to steal technology for scientists is a natural habit. I have to thank the Belgian public who has started sending us information and in fulfilling a lot of information, because they understand, they know where in their languages they can go to. And if you're searching for more, please send it to webmaster at the Spaceship Institute that you have found some more information, and we pass it on to the police. What else we have received since last week is absolutely amazing. As you have seen, the securities have released the facts and the truth about Sylvester. The email from the Knights of Malta has been released by them, and other defrauds. But what we see is that there is a pattern of work, and these people work together because they're of the same, and they all somehow end up in Singapore. Sylvester was in Singapore, February of this year. Others who work with us and they try to defraud the foundation end up in Singapore. A lot of you might ask the question, why? This is where they go and get paid. This is where a lot of money by DL and its associates have been hidden. We have all the proof. As you've seen, we released the name of the company in Australia and the rest of it. A disturbing fact has been brought by public to us, which we did not know, we were not aware of, and this puts a total seal on the operation of DL. Some of you must have been very interested to know how one man could come up with so many patent applications. You have to remember what I say. Patent application. DL has never received a patent as far as we can search, unless you can come up or he can put up. You got to understand, he tells you where he has stolen, but we never listen till the public, Belgian public who know their ways, have opened the door for us. If you remember, a simple fact, in all his communication and in all his presentations, even is done with us, he says he was a high-ranking civil servant and Ministry des Affaires Économiques. And at that high level, you've seen him explaining he knows ex-prime ministers and the rest of it. But what the public has brought us, he said, do you know what this ministry is? Do you know where he sat in that ministry? Do you know he's been sacked from that ministry? He did not walk out. This is what they tell us. But we ask the question, what is that building? What is the place? They said something very interesting. All the patents of people who submit patents to Belgium government or patent office goes in the basement of that building. Is kept by this division. And when you're at a high rank, you have access to anything. You can steal any patent. That's why then we came to another point that is very easy. He's been stealing patents from scientists, writing a parallel the way he did with Keshe Foundation, going to China and making a Casimir effect battery. It's actually nano battery, which we all produce, different name. He's done the same thing with the cubically happy. He has no patent on it. It's been brought to our attention. He copyrighted after intimidating the patent owner, which is a gentleman called From, F-R-O-M. Securities released these documents that you can see. He has stolen, intimidated anyone as a top rank. He could see the patents coming in. That's why he was kicked out of the ministry. Because then they could not say, your patents are getting stolen by our management, discrediting the nation and the office of the ministry. Now, this is the information we receive. So now we know the high level, being with ministers, what it meant. He had access to any patent came in, what he could do, and this has opened a very big Pandora. Now we know he still has contact. He still gets the latest, what he thinks he can copy in different name, and he puts in an application. He has never gone as far as it can be seen a full patent. He has never received a patent. As far as it can be seen, they tell us. So even the cubily happy cubily very correctly is a stolen copyright. There is no patent. The patent is owned by Belgium. His name is, and you can check it. So you see, this is the habit of a thief. This is what is called Ministry of Economic Affairs. So now we know why he left the job. He was kicked out of the job stealing patents. Strange enough, we have found in Antwerp Gazette an article by a gentleman called Perrin, who has exposed this, and he intimidated everyone the same. But there is something fundamentally which has been found out and we've been asked to release. The gentleman who had the copy or the patent put in 1982 of the what He has called it in a different way name, has died. Guess how? Do you remember Mr. Slout in Holland? The biggest scientist in computer technology compression died of heart attack. Heart problem. Guess what? From has died of the same. Now we see a pattern in him poisoning. The same thing he did with Caroline, the same thing he did with me, the same thing is done with others. Now the police is looking at a serial killer. What we're receiving from public in Belgium is he had not even had mercy on his mother. He would have had, because he values nobody's life. He has mercy on no one as long as he can steal. Now we see connection with another theft of patent. But his copyright, and he's intimidated the patent owner to get it he didn't give, so he was poisoned the same way. Don't forget, with his own poison, he had a brain hemorrhage and heart attack. So you see, it's the pattern what it does. He's been brought up in Africa. He knows how to use poisons to kill. Heart attack, all heart. Himself, from, we've seen with the Slout, we've seen with me and Caroline, and many others. We have started an investigation in the serial killer. We have received another information, which we would like the public to say. As you know, he says he divorced his wife or separated from his wife in 1992. A strange thing has come up by public to us. He was having an affair with a wife of a very well-known dentist, and she had to be get rid of. But she did not die in the accident. The wife found out he's on the street. So he's killed many. We are not talking hypothetic. We delivered everything. Now the securities will release all the patterns of Mr. From, F-R-O-M, is the patent owner of the Cube, original patent owner. And if you check, DL never had a patent. He copyrighted and intimidated. That's why he lost his case in America, because he had no right. It's strange enough, Belgian public have started defending themselves because this is giving a bad name to the Belgians. Now they start searching about DL and what is done. What we see, this pattern of work stays with the company in Lowen. And what we said with the head of European Space Agency, because they work together. The same way, they have access to all the pattern coming in, how to intimidate, they kill some, they lubricate the others. That's why all the companies offshore has come. We don't make allegations, these are what it is. So what we have asked the police of Holland, we have asked the prosecutors in Belgium to resume 3 bodies. One is of Mr. Slout. One is of From. And for security, as one Belgium said, there is no mercy. A man like this have no one, even not the mother. These pattern of destroying people he does not like, or don't agree with him, or he steals from them, has repeated itself over 30 years. We are dealing with one of the biggest serial killers. Police in Italy, prosecutors in Belgium, police in Holland, and now police in America is looking, because he's traveled and he has copied other scientists in US. He have not received any patent. People like to see, we asked the question, they said they're checking. So he just, all it does, he steals and puts a patent application, and then he runs with it to see what he can do. The only one which he ever made money out of was cubically happy, because it was stolen, it was already made and it was shown, because another scientist in Japan made another version of it. He couldn't patent it. What is in public cannot be patented. Now you see we're dealing with the biggest thief of science, of technology, and anything anybody comes up. We could not understand how this man continuously comes up with huge patents, because now we know now. He sits at the top of the Ministry of Economy Affairs, where the world's downstairs hold the patents of all the nation. He has free, nobody asks questions. Do you remember the movie where the prisoner was given the freedom of helping the head of the prison, and then he took everything, evidence from the head of the prison, what he was doing wrong, and he could walk away? It's the same. He's stolen everything. He's stolen from his nation, and all he's done is patent application. So we are dealing with a serial thief and serial killer. Now a pattern of killing family, killing friends, poisoning scientists, poisoning anything else which might come, shows a pathological liar, which is one of the biggest thing made police officers tell me, if he says Panama is a copy which we have a URL, it directly goes to the government of the Panama, what about the rest of it? So investigation by the finance ministry, exactly where he came, economic or finance of Belgium, on the L has started heavily. Investigation on the murder of the family members and other scientists through the same way, heart attack, heart problem. He had a heart attack and the fear of what we saw. So we thank you, Belgian citizens. We lived amongst you, we have respect for you. But now you see how one by one of you were discredited because the website of the Keshe Foundation was a lucrative path for him. We are asking for 3 bodies to be moved and the remains to be tested for different kind of poisons. We hope we can find them after 30, 40 years. We hope that we can close this chapter. Do you remember the case of...
Ja, nyhetene stopper ikke der, men vi velger å stoppe der. Det er fritt fram å gå inn på Keshe Foundation subtitling på YouTube og se den med norsk tekst hvis man vil ha med seg resten, for det er en viktig sak. Men det er også viktig å få med seg litt undervisning. Det er jo derfor vi er her. Så da starter vi bare det.
We go back to the teaching. We taught in the past few weeks how you can transfer emotion into direction of the soul or emotion to the direction of physicality. How do we control the emotion that can react and interact with physicality, that the change in physicality can be instantaneous? You got to remember one principle, and this is the principle of the transformation and transfer of physical conducts of plasma. The source does not change that much. The sun, the strength of the sun, more or less in billions of years, is still the same in the plasma structure of the solar system. Is a distance and the strength of the field in the path of the gravitational magnetic field from the sun which dictates the manifestation of the reality of the entity like Earth, Jupiter, Saturn, and the rest. So what we come to understand is the filtering of the strength which gives you the end product. So if you understand this, you understand that the emotion is the filter. Is understanding the operation of the filter, which is your emotion, which will give you the finger, the toe, the height, the color, and the size, or accepting higher temperature, higher pressures, and the rest. So what we have to learn from now on is how do we use these filters? How do we use our emotion as filter that with it we can change our physical manifestation according to the environment which we come. Because we cannot change the soul. The soul is the giver, is the beginning to the end. Is equal in every dimension. If the filtering of fields of the sun are blocked on one side, we see reduction in the heat which comes to Earth, or if it's a massive explosion, what is in our direction, we get the vast of it. I explained this in a teaching long time ago. I said, you know, they call these solar flares, and then we get back with it, and we have our internet and Canadian, what do you call it, electricity is the famous one which got hit years ago. It's the same as a stroke. When the energy comes and the physicality and the emotion cannot handle it, it damages the physicality. You get everything which comes as paralysis and the rest. So there is a similarity in the work of the universe. If we don't understand the work of our brain, we understand now that our soul is not something sitting somewhere, but the creator of our physicality, what we have chosen to call soul, according to the filters put across it, by the physical structure of reducing the strength of the source, ends up in the operation and creation of the brain, where in interaction with the environment ends up with the physicality of the man in control and the direction through what you call the physical part of the brain. If you understood what I just explained, it's very simple. We have to understand how we can control our emotion that can lead to the rapid change of the physicality according to the atmosphere. So what does this mean? You go to a very high density environment, gravitational magnetic field. With the structure of your body now, with the brain not being in control of emotion, you get dissolved in a higher strength. But now, if you understood and you can control your emotion, that you can immediately go to the higher strength and absorb less in the structure of the brain energies, then you become parallel with the environment and your body takes the structure of its environment that it can stay alive. Let me explain to you if it's hard to understand. You know, you get hurt, you get afraid, you start sweating, you start cringing, you start changing your color of your face. Now you have to go a step further. We have done it, it's been part of us. We know how to do it. But because of the condition of the atmosphere of this planet, we never had to practice it. The way When you get shy, you go red, because the emotion affects the physicality in receiving so much energy from the soul that manifests itself in different color. We know man has within his structure, if he doesn't want something, he can even through the emotion dictate the cutting, amputation of a limb or part of the body. We do it so perfectly that we call it psychosomatic. What is psychosomatic? Psycho, emotion. We are the same position with this as we were with the Chinese wok, making nano coating and eating gas for centuries. But we never understood. Now we have to understand this process, that we are mastering it. It's part of us. The reaction of the soul of the man is the same. You go to China over millions of years, thousands of years, it changes a black man to a China man, because the emotion has to stand. You get a black skin coming from east central coast of Africa, going to Siberia, becoming the most beautiful skin of white and blonde hair and blue eyes. You put the same man coming out of Africa, according to skin and the condition of the environment, becomes Norwegian, Austrian, blonde, different structure. You put him back in the same structure, you send in South America, he becomes a different man, according to the environment. It's the environment which has changed the man, according to the emotion of the survival. We send him back into the spans of Australia, we get Aborigines. Now we understand the process, we understand it's the emotion which in respect to the environment gives the physicality and appearance of the physicality. But in the space, we don't have the time waiting 10,000 years for the change. The condition of the environment outside dictates the transformation of the reduction or strength in the filtering of the fields of the soul, that the filtering allows the manifestation of new entity as we wish. To be able to live in the environment we have arrived in, for us to become the balancer. And in that environment which dictates the condition of the appearance. This is important. Then you see in a space you do not need no spacesuit. We already wear a spacesuit called the skin of the man. It's the best spacesuit you can ever come. Regenerates itself, changes from color, makes different condition of the presentation. If you get shy, if you get angry, it grows fingers if you need to be, shortens you if the environment dictates. Now this mini trial of the man for thousands of years on this planet is going to be open to the bigger trial in the span of the universe. This is the truth about the spaceship program. This is the truth about how man will go into space now that we understand the science of space technology. We understand the essence of the creation through the work of the plasma. I was with a journalist a couple of days ago, and I said to him, what's your problem? Why do you think you cannot fly from Accra into space? We'll show you the banner of the Keshe Foundation, which is going up most probably next 48 hours. On the site of the land we're building and the site of the university building we have taken, it's very easy. in the center said, fly to space from Accra. They laugh. And when we explain to them in a simple way, they say, now we become the leader better than the Americans. I said, why not? We learn with them, they're brothers. We work, they made the steps for us to be able to do something else. With a space technology, with a spaceship program, I'll bring the nations to become one. That's the ultimate goal. Because like this, we teach freely. All these teachings which you've been listening to past few years, especially since Christmas that we start opening into the direction of the space technology, will be repeated across this planet many billions of times. You go to courses, how you go into a box, and then you decide how to change your presentation according to the pressure, field strength, and the condition and flow of the magnetic fields, that you start learning how to mutate. To you, these things now is beyond your imagination. In 5 or 10 years' time, you'll speak about it as a man has been in space for a lifetime. I always said many times, when I was in Tehran, the guy said, came from Moscow, and he said, they have a metal thing flies. And I said, crazy man, how can a metal thing fly? He said, yes, they have it, it goes in the air and they carry people in it. And they laughed at him, he became a crazy man. Less than 5 years later, they had the first Mehraba at the airport in Tehran. And they say, my God, the guy wasn't crazy. He saw the future. In 5 or 10 years' time, the way we see the leaders in this technology, now they merge with the world scientists in the space programs, will bring this to a normality like computers. We'll just walk into it. The understanding of the operation of the soul of the man in the filtering of the emotion by the brain of the man will dictate how much the structure of the brain will change, and we become the chameleon of space like the rest of the universal community. We'll understand the essence of creation. We understand the way they created according to the space and the dimension they're in, and if we can find similarities in the strength, we keep part of what we are, we change part to fit into the environment, and we become the passengers of the universe. The work of the Universal Council, which I left them free, the same with the World Council, I left them free. I don't interfere deliberately with none of them, because they have to find their way. It's the job of the 6 members of the World Council to get together. You don't need me. I do not set the standard. I do not come and interfere. I just sit and I say, when are these 6 going to sit down and start making the conditions that their wishes become the wish of humanity? I haven't heard any meeting. Your Excellencies, you are failing humanity. It's your job, all 6 of you, to start and set it. Your wish will be the wish of humanity. We have chosen the most beautiful souls on this planet to be the members of the World Council. I never call for a meeting for the World Council, but if you ask, I'll try to attend to enlighten. I do not take part in the Universal Council meetings, because they have to learn themselves, not for me to set up guidance. They have to learn how to be the filter between the Universal Council and Universal Committee and humanity. And it's the job of the World Council. You 6 Excellencies are not doing your jobs. You have to set and issue your wishes that the humanity takes the course. Because now you know you are the filters between the 2 sides. It is for Universal Council in the meeting which is coming up in Rome. Together they set the course for humanity, the conditions for it, and it'll be done. The World Council, Your Excellencies, cannot be by name, has to be there through the effort of your souls. Gather together and make decisions. You're being given the power. The core members, the 14 members of the core members' souls are with you. We support, do not interfere. You saw in the last World Council in Rome, there were 4 or 5 of us from the world, what you call it, the core team. We are there to facilitate. You've seen Sandor relentlessly being there to protect. But the soul is there to support the council. You saw Brett. We appear in physicality, but our soul is there to support. You get support from the soul of mankind, we give you the support from the Universal Council soul. Understand the structure. You are filters of the knowledge, the same as the filters of the emotions in the physicality of the man. You are filters, you are the instruments of man receiving what it needs to grow into universal community. This is the job of somebody's microphone. This is the job of you members of Universal Council. You are the emotional part where the other side is the soul of the universe. And it's for you to structure the man to be ready to become part. We don't ask you to issue commands. We ask you to bring the wish of humanity to become peaceful. That's why we don't see salvage. Because the arms of the structure have not managed even to talk to each other. How can you run a factory when there is no management? Understand the structure of your body. Understand in the deep space how you interact. Use the emotion not to change your color to red or change your body to cringe, but you learn how to use different strength of the environment to change the structure of the controlling part you call the brain, to filter different strengths that immediately, instantaneously the physicality follows. This is the secret of creation in the space. This is the way the man will be. You know, you go to schools, driving schools now, you go to diving schools now to learn how to swim and how to drive. You go to classes to learn how to work with computer. In a short time coming, there'll be so many schools how to convert your soul to physicality, and they big tanks and they make fields, and you want to see how is on the planet G69 whatever. You have 20 arms and 16 legs, and how you can do it instantaneously. Because now they feel the environment to be the environment of the planet 6G whatever. So in that environment, you learn how to react fast. You go now, they choose a very few to go in the tanks to become astronauts and cosmonauts for 7 years to how to change a screw. Within a few hours, you learn how to change according to the environment. You cannot change on the atmospheric condition of the earth, because this is the condition you are supposed to be. You got to learn something. If it's very hard for you to understand, why do we see so many people of the universal community in the shape of the man? When we see them, when we detect them, when we video them. Because the condition of this planet
enforces this physicality that you can walk, you can stand, you can have, absorb enough energy through the hairs and the fingers. This become yours. They don't change to us. The environment of the gravitational magnetic field of this planet, in this part of the solar system, in this galaxy, dictates 2 liver, 2 kidneys, 1 liver, and the rest of it. Now you understand the truth about the creation of the man and the creation of the universal entities. If you become good at it, you can flick from one environment to another. Today you have 2 hands, the next second you have 14, you don't need no legs because the hand is good enough. You're a monkey, you can jump higher trees and the weight is there. Now you understand where we are taking the mankind. Now you understand how the teaching has to be. Now you understand how the man will set the course for the incoming and upcoming time with the space technology. But this time, it will be equal amongst everyone, and everyone in every nation will be taught the same. As we are done with our teaching, we have set the standard, we have set the trend in past 3 or 4 years. Freely teaching. It's you who decides you want a gans of zinc, or if you want to have copper. As the doctor asked, what can I do, and what does the gans of gold does? Try to move to the understanding of the filtering of the strength of the soul that gives you the manifestation of the physicality. Why, when you get afraid, you get short of breath? What emotion strength filters that allows so much to go through the soul to the physicality in such a rapid way? You cannot change here. Wherever you go is the same. But as I said in the teaching of past couple of weeks, man has never dared to jump into space without the clothes, space suit. We don't need it. We have the best space suit. It's the soul of the man. And if you know how to filter it, you have and wear a jacket of any entity in space, according to the environment you arrive. You go on the beach, you go with the swimwear, you go in the North Pole, you go with the jacket and the fur coats. This is the physicality of condition of matter state. Now when you go into the condition of the plasma, it becomes the same, but this time you change. But the only thing you will see is that you will not be able to wear clothes with you. The man's body will be his soul and essence of creation. When you come to space, you'll come across something very interesting. In many races, the gender does not exist, and you cannot tell the difference except when they have decided to be. So the shame of the man to show his reproduction organ and the breast does not exist, because you decide internally what you want to be. So we look all the same. There is nothing to hide. The frock of the disguise of the man wearing fancy clothes but nothing inside the brain will change, because what you carry is what you show. Is the nakedness of the soul of the man. And this is what a lot of you are going to have a problem with. We don't preach, we teach, we enlighten that you can start exercising. Do not try to see if I can grow my finger. It will not happen. It'll take you time because the environmental balance is not there. Make yourself a fish tank of different strength and walk in it and see how you can change. You put your hand in, your finger grows, or some of the fingers disappear because that atmosphere dictates that. I'm going for a skiing holiday. I take my skis, I take my jacket, I take my ski hat and everything else. So, what is going to be? What are we going to do? In a space, the plasma field will dissolve the field strength of the jacket. The ski board with the wood or the metal has no dimension, will not exist. You stand naked. So, the way you stand naked shows the operation of your souls, in a way, shows the filtering you've done to be in that manifestation. The man of space see the light of the soul of the man, not the physicality of the man, because the physicality at the end is subjected to the environment. And it'll be the same with the man. You become an expert in seeing things. Where you see there is no animosity, where you see there is no need to fight because it's there. You want this, it's yours. You want part of my soul because you want to taste how I taste. Have it. Because I create the field for you to feel how I feel. I give it to you freely. The strange thing is, our soul has been doing this from the time of inception of the soul, but has never made it open to the man's in the manifestation of physicality on this earth, because the atmospheric condition, position of this planet, in this galaxy, in this solar system, in this planet, dictates for it to be this way. Please start testing. Please start making cubes. Ali in Canada started, and he went the wrong way in the development. And that put us somewhere away. We saw with Jackie going in that course, but being in 2 dimensions of the earth atmospheric, and the condition was created, there were things touched. I referred to some people like Farhad a few weeks ago, or regarding Richard, that they are doing some things in different ways, because we have to set, it's for them to learn, it's not for you to boycott and torture them. You want me to tell you how you others are doing things which is not the correct way? When we speak about people, they learned, they have corrected it, that's their way. It's not to become anti and against. It's for them. We don't go in the back and do things, in the front, that they teach you more and they learn more. We have to be open to be able to learn. Not taking a word and boycotting and going there the other way. You don't go to the workshops to become. You go to the workshops to give. What I give is what I learn, and when you give, you learn more. We see in the German group trying to boycott Farhad because Keshe said this. Yes, they do things different than we thought. They learned and they improve. We don't do things in the background. It's the same with Richard. He writes to me, do you know what you said, people? But there is no, the openness us, we praise the way what he learned from it, that now it's for you actually to go to them more, to say, now you know what it is, correct way, show us the correct way, because they learned it. You, humanity, work totally opposite. Try to understand, and you will be the next people who make the next developments, the next structures, the next mistakes, the next conditions. It's you who has to be the pioneer of opening the doors. I tell you something, in a few years' time, blacksmith will not exist. The bread makers, what we used to live and life was dependent on it, we will not touch bread. We'll have it in the museums, because now we can absorb the energy we need according to. Would you like to take some bread to the planet Zeus? It would not exist, it would be nothing but energy gone. We will carry the memory of the bread and the taste of it because we have it in our amino acid. Try from now on to create new environmental conditions. Ali became good at it, but he lost his track, got pulled into the other dimensions of whatever. And he's working on it. We saw it with Jackie. It was beautiful work what was going on with Jackie. But you have a problem in this condition. You got to remember, once you leave the environment of the creation of the zone you've done, you have to live the condition of the atmospheric of this planet. It's not that you are any different. You are traveling between the two spaces. It's you to condition and understand. In the sea, I want to go deep. I need the swim jackets or whatever, the diving masks and the rest of it. It looks funny if you walk in McDonald's with a full swimming gear you've been diving with, huh? And you say, because it's the same. The condition there does not apply there. Because you're so physical, you have not understood this. If you create a condition of the field strength of a given environment and you stay in it, you'll behave that way. You experience new dimension of life according to what you allow your filter, which is your brain, to allow to manifest in physicality. You will have many schools. Nowadays, you go, you learn this, diving, you go driving school, you go walking school, computer school. Very soon, all these shops will change. Planet Zeus condition, Planet Jeeps condition, Planet so-and-so condition. I want to go for a holiday to Planet Zeus for 3 weeks. So, you go practicing. Till you learn that you don't need to go to these schools, because now you learn how to transform. You don't have the fear of what's going to happen to me when I get there, because you convert, you evolve into it. Because this is the way the life works. The fear of unknown has been the cause of this condition. As I said to you very recently, I spoke with one of the top guys responsible for Mars mission by NASA. He's a friend. He's a very good friend. He is responsible for landing the man on Mars in the next decades. He says to me, Mehran, you're boycotted by NASA. Nobody can speak to you. I said, how stupid. The most advanced man in the space technology is boycotted by the worst one? To show the, what do you call, meager understanding of totality? That it puts shame onto them? Or do we work together? He says, there's an instruction at HQ of NASA, nobody can talk to you. Because it shows how stupid we are. You're talking too advanced. Then we can't speak, we can't show you're different. Very soon, NASA will not exist this way. They have to turn to start teaching us as humanity with the equipments and have the finances within the American government and space technology, Russia and the same, to advance the man from space into a spaceship. And this is what you got to learn. We will make the swimming tanks of the conditioned different environments of the universe, not for man to change a screw. Because you will make the screw anytime. It'll come for the man that When you put your hand and you know this has got to be something to connect this to this for me to have the comfort of the air conditioning, it'll appear. It'll manifest because it's your wish. You know what it needs to be. You don't need to make, because the energy of the hand gives manifestation to the physicality of what is needed. I'll speak to you in 10 years' time and you will see. How did you know? I'm the messenger of the universe. I can teach you everything. But you as children of man have to learn to understand more and take the shackles of ignorance in respect to the new knowledge away from your eyes and your mind. You'll walk through like the rest of the universal community. We are here to bring peace to man. We are here to deliver the message of universe. We are not here to enforce. We are here to enlighten, to share knowledge, that we see you as equal when you join us. I am the beginning. I am the end. You got to understand to get rid of the fear. There is no unknown. It's the lack of trying to know what we know, how we can convert it to our own understanding and intelligence. You'll be surprised when a man in the next few weeks and months goes to space, or when you create a condition and you see the others of other universes with us, how easily you speak the language. And you say, stupid us, we're trying to learn French when we're speaking English and we can't even do it, and now we understand the language of the universe. Because the language of the universe comes from the soul of the man. And every entity has a center. And it's all the same. You have to understand how to transfer the emotion from the tip of the finger to the center of the brain where it sits. You have to understand how fast you can change this. That in a condition you brought in, it fits the environment. You never die. Man will never die in the deeper space. Accidents will happen when the field gets divided. You go through what we call neutron division. But as long as there are no accidents, the man will survive the spans of universe for millions of years. For thousands of years, according to the man. 1,000 years is a peanut, is a drop of a pin in the life of the universe. They say the universe is 14 billion. You don't even know how many billion years. It happened billions of years before billions of years by order of magnitude. You don't have the tools to see it. You only see the matter part of it. When it comes to the crumb, the stars, the galaxies are nothing but the crumbs of the work of the universe. You never see, you never have the intelligence at this moment in time, till you go into a space and live like the man of the universe to see the truth about the creation of the universe. I am the creator and everything is transparent to all. You will say to yourself, you create yourself according to the environment. I made myself in the shape of myself. Not I made man in the shape of the creator. I am the creator. Because my soul, the creation of his energy, dictates how I manifest myself. Teaching human race has been nothing but headache and problem, because man is afraid of his own dimensions of existence. I tell you something you will start enjoying. Try, if you understand. Try to understand, because you can do this on this planet. You have the facilities within the structure of your brain to achieve it. There is a limitation to it, and there is a speed to it till you run. Try to change the color of one hand, if you're a white man, to a black, and walk in 2 halves. You can do it. Don't forget, you went from black to white. It's in your DNA, it sits in your RNA. We are not going very far. And try to change the other arm into yellow. At the beginning, horrendous. You might run off it and people might laugh. But when they learn, you teach them how to do, you walk on this. What's happening today is the color is to be half black, 2 whites and 2 tones red. There is no need for a makeup. You carry the makeup of the universe. There is no need for rouge, there is no need for eyelashes. You decide how I want to look, because today this is the energy I need. So I'm going to look blonde, 2 legs black, because everybody will give me attention. I receive what I need for food today. Tomorrow I'm going to be half yellow. Because now if you understood the teaching of today, you understand how to filter the emotion. Because emotion has to be correct to achieve the condition, the manifestation. Man has to start learning the strength of his emotion, the filtering. That's the only thing you can do. Nothing else. You cannot change the physicality because the physicality is dictated by the condition you are in. You cannot change the strength of the soul because the soul stays the same, doesn't matter where you go. So the only path for man is the transition time. There are transition space. What you call emotion. Don't sit there and go, oh, I've got to go black on the tip of this finger because I want to have a black finger today, and the other finger I want to be yellow. Sit with the pleasure. What would I give by having a finger? People would look at it and say, oh, look, one finger there. Why do we decorate ourselves and wear these fancy clothes and the makeups? That we get attention. We are hungry. We are the chameleons. We are the peacocks. We are everything to get attention. So I need more attention because I need more energy because I want to go to a space and I want to learn this, and the others give you. But man does not understand this at this moment of time. You can practice the evolution of the man within yourself. But that's the limit because of the atmospheric condition of this planet dictates this structure, 2 kidneys. You have to have a filter, you have to have a storage, you have to be able to feel the gaseous part, you have the lung, you have to be able to filter the mineral part, the solid part, this is the kidneys, and you need a storage that you can store whatever it is, because you can't keep on going eating from the earth. When I need it, I take it, some of the time I'll store it up. The body of the man is a one simple factory, working in 2 sections, atmospheric and the physicality. So when you land on a space of another place, the physicality dictates different shape, the atmosphere, if there's a gaseous or you absorb only from the matter state of it, you'll become the state, the shape of what is there to do. Now you see how simple it has been. The only reason you can't change because it's the condition of this planet. I take you on moon. If you understood this, you stand there without the mask and you walk. Now, you might need to be a lizard because the pressure is too close. You might have to go underground because this is how it gives you. You don't have oxygen and nitrogen to give to support amino acid, but you can, through a system of the brain, convert the energy that it supports amino acid. This is what we got to learn, not to be afraid of. To understand the space is within the brain of the man, within the capture of his emotion, that it manifests its physicality. I said last week in the teaching, and I say this week in the teaching, go back to the teaching of the medical, where we did public medical teaching, the health teachings. Many, many secrets of the creation I've given there. About every organ. Dr. Elia Kostova taught you the way the medical people do. I taught you the work of the universe. I chose the emotion in every point. Now you understand.
Jeg vet ikke om dere skal ha 5 minutter.
Det er sikkert fint med 5 minutter.
Ja.
Ja, det er bra.
Ok. Da blir det 5 minutters video på engelsk, men det blir en 5 minutters video. Ja, velkommen tilbake.
Ja, takk.
Er det noen som har noe med noe å spørre om eller noe, så får du gjerne gjøre det. Men det blir muligheter etter vi er ferdige også.
Now you understand that without emotion, there is no physicality. It's the space gap of the emotion which creates different kind of physicalities. Why your finger is on the end of your brain, just near to the skull, near the finger, sorry, near the ear. Now look how much filtering is done in that part, in the lower level from the center of the brain, that very little energies has been absorbed by that point, which dictates the shape has to be according to this atmospheric condition finger. Look at the shape of the brain and look at the center point of the soul. And then understand the filtering. Why when you slice a brain you see different layers? Oh, this is the emotion, this is the language, this is exactly what you got to learn, how to change. How can you suddenly, not speaking a language, you can speak 10 languages. You can change it yourself. This is the reality of what is to come. And unfortunately, you don't have much time, because you all will change. I'm pushing you to start making the conditions and try to test it. Make rooms in your houses where you can change the fields. When I go in this room, if you can create the right condition that in balance with the atmosphere in this condition I have, you will see the family will tell you, oh, you had 20 fingers when you were in there. Oh yeah, today I'm in planet Zeus. I wanted to see how he feels. I'm going there for holiday next week. You change it, and your child goes in, he wants to go to planet Zeus. So here there are no legs, and you can see just the head moving, because it's good enough. You can float with what you have, because it dictates a condition. It sounds crazy because you never understood the truth, but that's what is the truth about the space and deeper space. Try to understand the interaction of the fields. Try to understand the pleasure and understand the limitation of the physicality on this planet. Then you can dictate the emotion. Have you seen the actresses? They say, try to make tears that you're crying. And they sit there and they make tears. How did they do that? They control the emotion, and the emotion transfers itself to the liquid of life. There is no difference. If you understand, I'm glad to have a skin which is yellow and I look like Chinese. It'll be beautiful. It's so nice. It's such a pleasure. I want to be yellow that I can be there. You become yellow. Have you ever asked the question why people have different color skin? Go in their soul and find out where they wish something to be white. Because at the moment, the skin of the white shows the education and graduation for abuse. I want to be graduated to be abusive, so I want to go different color. Why not all the white want to be black, to become serene, and to become part of the other? Why do we need color? Why can't we all become transparent that it doesn't show where we're coming from? Why don't the Universal Council and the World Council makes that from now on, we stay at the power of the same structure, but to the eye of the beholder, we are all the same color. Your wish is your command. That's why I don't attend any of your teachings, because I can teach you so much, you misread it, you misconduct. This way you make your path. Listen to the teaching, you understand what you got to do. Why? Excuse me for a second. Rick, would you like to take over? I have to see something, please.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Rick, is your live stream okay?
As far as I know, is there some issue with that? I'm getting comments coming through as of 5 minutes ago.
Okay, I just seen a post on Facebook, so just wondering.
Sorry about that. So the problem is not the education. The problem is openness of the mind. The problem is understanding the interaction of the fields. There is no problem. It's openness of the acceptance and openness of understanding and openness of applying the right way. It's the way things has to be for us to be intelligent, to understand the work of the universe. For us is the reality of the space gap. At what field you want to release to be in comparison to the environment what to be. Then you understand, as I said many times in the past few weeks, there is no need for a spacesuit. And there is no need to go to a class to learn the language of the planet Zeus, because in planet Zeus they speak different language. They all speak the same language. The language of the soul of the man. Into what extent we understand it shall be our own problem. To what extent we are going to accept it, again shall be our own problem. To what extent we can be the reality of the understanding in the totality of the structure. Can we be part of the reality of ourselves? Can we change the situation with our own existence through our emotion? Can we feel our child without actually being physically with it, but through the contact of the soul? How much do we want? How much do we want to bring? What do we want to put in reality in the capture of the life of the man? Do we need to have understanding of the reality, or do we escape into other dimension? But at the end, in one way or another, we're all the same. As we say, the beauty is skin deep. So is with the universal community. The life is the emotion deep. The souls are all the same. We will not look at the manifestation of physicality. We will look at the manifestation of the reality of the essence of what we want to be shown. Where the clothes will not be there to cover us, but the reality of our own physicality will disclose our physical direction and dimension. These teachings for you at this moment is far-fetched. But in the coming time, you'll ask yourself, how come we didn't see it? And how come we didn't understand it? Because till you're not put in a condition, you cannot practice. You cannot dive on the ground if you haven't made a pool to jump into the water that you don't hit yourself hard. You have to create a condition that there is a water that you can swim. You have to create a condition that there is a field strength that is in equal dimension, equal to conformation of existence without endangering the separation and division. You will go into environments that you allow the separation and division of your soul, what you call the soul of newborns. Because that soul will start gathering energy from the others that it matures itself to another soul. This is how the creation done in the realms of the Creator. Not with physical sex the man has got used to. The conversion of the neutron to electron and a proton is the true existence of the vision of the creation. That shall be it for the soul of the man. The existence of proton within it, in conjunction with others to structure it, is the same for accumulation of the energies of the universe. So, where do we go? If you look, the structure of an atom is a male and a female, an electron. And when the male divides, when the female divides, you call it division of neutron, you start a new cycle of life. There is no difference. It's the man who has to understand the truth and the operation of the universal order. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. And once again, I'll remind the viewers, we have 106 viewers, 107 now, in the Zoom here, that they can put their hand up and you have the ability then to become a panelist and ask a question. Let's see, we've got, well, we have a comment from Tugay that just came up that says, this is the teaching I am waiting for my whole life. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. May your soul be elevated. Colleen mentions, I just wrote 2 heartfelt letters to the White House to help with the World Council, asking to talk to our president about healthcare advances and help with our purposes. I hope this helps. Okay, and Doug mentions just control our emotions. Fear is just another emotion. Maybe you could speak about that a bit, Mr. Keshe, about the idea of, on the one hand, we have our, you might say, human emotions, but on the other hand, we have this interaction of the soul with the physicality through the emotion that you mentioned. Is there like two different ideas there, or is it the same thing? What is fear, for example? How has that come up? How does that dealt with in the realms of the soul?
The fear is a condition that we do not understand where the physicality will show itself. The fear is the condition of how do we allow ourselves to exist without dividing. The fear is, in a way, a restriction we put that we do not want to give anymore. The fear is the strength that puts limitation. The fear is how we can disturb the conditions. The fear is how we can survive the condition. The fear is how much can we give without being taken. The fear is how much can be given without giving of totality.
So in a way, as humans, we have to, or at least as, say, essential selves that are under the conditions of this environment, specifically the gravity and atmosphere of this planet, then we have to balance that, you know, there's this dichotomy, it seems. There's the physicality, there's the soul or essential self part, and they seem to exist in different worlds, and they mesh in a way, but it's often conflicting ideas that that get represented, and this emotion is part of this, where you know, fear and well, fear is a good example. That's the one that, as you just explained, especially in, for example, fear of going to space in a very, even the physicality way. The physicality thinking, okay, you know, it's time to go to space. Okay, fine, let's go to space. Great. Oh, you mean I have to leave my friends behind there, or my family that doesn't want to go? Well, I don't know if I want to do that. Mean that I have to leave all my things and stuff, my home, of course, and from Earth, and so on and so forth. And all of a sudden we're in space, and like you're saying, in a way, we could find ourselves naked, or we are existing without all the flourishes and sort of heaviness that we encounter on this planet. So that initiates kind of a fear of loss, a fear of, you insecurity of not knowing what's going to come next, because most of us have our habits and our environment here that's relatively safe in spite of the hazards of this planet, and there are many, but in a way we feel safe compared to being in voidness of space. So I think maybe everyone has to address that in a way to get through that.
Yeah, most probably we have
that some way.
Maybe we have to. Maybe we have to.
One way that's come up recently that I've been pondering, and quite a few others, through the gaming environment, some of the 3D virtual environments that are coming up now are quite incredibly detailed and possibly useful in the way they can be presented if we were to approach it properly. A lot of the games today have, quite violent sort of undertones and lots of guns and weapons and that kind of thing. But if you turn that around, instead of using guns and weapons, having instead of a weapon that shoots, a bullet, you have a weapon that shoots blessings, for example, or that helps elevate others. The elevating gun, the Gans gun, for example, and other things like this. And where you could go to a planet, you visit a planet, and you start from scratch. You have nothing on this planet. You have to mine to find some copper and zinc and put it together, and then make the GANs and make the materials that you need to exist on that planet. And it could be made in such a way that it walks people through a transformational experience in learning about the basics of how the universe works, but in a virtual world where we can change our character, like you were saying. It reminded me of how we can, if you want 8 legs and 14 arms, you can do that in the virtual environment fairly easily. A lot of people already do that sort of thing, of course. So we can take on different characters. You can be an alien, you can be a male, female, or animal, or whatever you want to manifest as, and learn to do that through the gaming environment, which you would think maybe those skills would transpose over to the real space environment when we are confronted with that, or maybe it'll help us become more familiar, feel more safe in that voidness environment that we might find ourselves in later.
Well, the one thing about that too, Rick, is we are very visual. So you could, like what Mr. Keshe was saying before about enclosing yourself in a box and feeling the differences in the environments, having a visual representation through something like VR would maybe increase the reception or the experience to be able to move forward.
Yeah, I think so. And it's actually better than video in a way, because video is too much of the real world, where the VR is almost very, very close to the real world, but it's got a certain artificiality to it, and it's completely changeable compared to a video, which is too much reality, and it's hard to reimagine it or revisualize into a different configuration, which can be done through the virtual environment. So possibly that could be useful. I'm going to be working with that more in the future to try to set up an environment where one can learn about to progress maybe from the physicality to nanomaterial to GANs to plasma vapor and up into the soul levels of maybe you could have a game where you can actually go from level to level by learning about each level and progressing and that kind of thing. So I'm trying to inspire a bit of interest there in the gamers and other developers out there who might want to work on such projects, because it takes a lot of people to really make it a complete, detailed, thorough environment. It's, you know, you could even work in things like the Wikipedia and other website things right into the game itself. That's the capabilities that are totally available now. So all the information could become available right within the gaming structure, and the way of evolving through, you know, to learn how to evolve, how to move from one level to the next, basically. Okay, I didn't mean to take up so much time with that, but it's just a few thoughts that came up with that.
Okay, would you like to go into the... would you like to share the other things, other teachings that we had before, if there is no questions?
Good morning, Mr. Keshe. I have a question.
Yes, Azar.
Mr. Keshe, when are we going to become a one planet, one nation?
When the humanity in total decides.
But it's not going to happen ever, because too many people are not peaceful. So there is two theories. According to your book, the first theory, my assumption is that our planet is going to be decaying, and we're going to give to another planet, another Earth, and then sister Earth. And then at that point, people who are peaceful are going to be transferred to the new one, and the rest of the people are going to die. And the second theory is there must be a threshold of peaceful people, because there's never ever going to happen that everybody is going to become peaceful. So if the threshold is 10%, once the 10% happens, simultaneously everybody else become peaceful, and automatically we join the universal community. There is which one is correct?
Can you explain yourself further, then you find your own answer?
Okay. So I have to figure this out myself.
Okay.
Is the planet, I mean, in your book, you're talking about it has happened before, that a planet has given to our Earth, I mean, another planet has given to our Earth that we came to existence, and sister Earth. And are we in that dilemma again?
What do you mean?
Is the Earth decaying?
Yeah.
Okay, so this, all the mayhem that's going to happen, or the earthquake, everything happen, is the consequences of decay of the Earth and giving birth to another one. Just like when a female giving a birth and just explosion happen, this Earth is going to go away, and the people who are peaceful are going to be automatically transferred to the new Earth, and the rest of the people that not peaceful, they're going to stay on this planet. They think that is the end of the world, which is not, and they're going to die, and they think everybody else died, but apparently the people who are peaceful have joined the new Earth, has gone, joined the universal community, and life is from the beginning and peaceful.
Yep, but we have to decide as a whole.
But the whole is not going to decide on this. If you want to wait for the whole, look
It's
at
the decision of the Universal Council and the World Council.
But the
Ja. Det var litt fra nummer 163. som sagt, den finnes med tekst på Keshe Foundation Subtitling, YouTube-kanalen, og den finnes selvfølgelig uten tekst på den offisielle, vanlige YouTube-kanalen. Jeg vet ikke om det noen spørsmål eller kommentarer, eller...
Alle sovna?
Am I talking to myself?
Nei. Men jeg tenker som så vanlig at det en stor munnfull.
Det det vet du.
Men jeg tenker som det såpass munnfull, så bør du egentlig bringe noen spørsmål opp i menneskene. Og se at vi ikke så mange lenger da. Det Geir og Siv som trofaste akkurat nå. Det jo en viss dybde i det vi lærer her.
Nå har jeg lagt ut i chatten linken til YouTube.
Ja, ok. Den fin, vet du. Tusen takk.
Vær så god. Så hvis noen vil se resten, så den der.
Ja, det en god time til med forskjellige spørsmål og svar og litt forslag til hva vi skal gjøre med ganser og sånn.
Jeg tenker det, hvis du skal ha noen tanker om den siste der, så tenker jeg at det å kunne, det som vanskelig å forstå det der hvordan man på en måte skal komme over i det nye. Hvis du skjønner?
Ja.
Hvordan man skal få tak på disse følelsene jo helt... Så hva det han mener?
Ja, det jo det at vi har alle følelser som vi bruker hver dag til å enten beskytte oss eller vise at vi glad i noen eller hva som helst, og det jo egentlig de samme følelsene på en måte da, som vi kan lære oss å finne opprinnelsen til, eller og gjennom det bruke dem andre veien da. Altså det jo egentlig samme veien, men...
Ja, jeg tenker, så for eksempel, han tok et eksempel her med en skuespiller som gråter, sant?
Ja.
For å sette i gang og gråte, så må du jo på en måte styre en følelse.
Ja, enten så må du skrelle en løk, eller så må du tenke på noe
Men en skuespiller som gråter på kommando på en måte da, vil jo ikke tenke at det sitter oppi hodet på venstre side. Det et eller annet der jeg ikke skjønner.
Nei, men det det altså... For det første så har man jo øvd litt da, og så det opprinnelige ønsket om virkelig å få det til.
Ja, men det jo mer en sånn bevisst handling da. Altså...
Hvis vi lar omgivelsene styre oss, så blir det en ubevisst handling. Men en skuespiller bygger om det og gjør det til en bevisst handling, sant?
Ja.
Egentlig på samme måten. For enten så får du tårene til å trille, eller så gjør du det ikke. På samme måte.
Men du kan sikkert også trene deg opp til det da. Hvis du tar det tåreeksempelet.
Det det gjør.
Men det han vil, at vi skal på en måte
Ja, du kan jo overføre det til noe annet da. Trenger jo ikke la den følelsen bli til en tåre. Kanskje man kan prøve å la den følelsen bli til noe som man kan blande med en annen følelse. Så kanskje man kan få for eksempel en bomullsdott til å bevege seg da, uten å ta på den, uten å blåse på.
Ja. Men er det feltene som man sender ut da, som vil få den bomullsdotten da eventuelt å...
Ja, i interaksjon med feltene fra bomullsdotten og alle de andre feltene rundt, selvfølgelig. Det jo det vi må øve på, da, å finne ut hvilke ting som gjør at vi får til hva. Og så når vi finner ut av det, så kan vi jo prøve å øve inn en slags automatikk i det da. Kanskje den automatikken kommer av seg selv, hvis man bare øver nok.
Ja, for det jeg egentlig tenker at hvis vi sånn som vi på en måte var litt sånn opprinnelig, så vi klarer å plukke av oss de lagene som vi har lagt utenpå følelsene våre, og som styrer oss fordi vi styrt av veldig mye rundt oss. Hvis vi går på en måte tilbake til det, så det jo en slags naturlig intuisjon da.
Ja, det litt som det der at hvis du ute og går i skogen om kvelden da, og du litt mørkredd, så hører du en kvist knekke rett ved siden av deg, så løper du så mye du orker, sånn helt uten å tenke over at du løper, og hvor fort du løper, så løper du så fort som en vind, ikke sant?
Ja, eller at hjertet begynner å pumpe. Men hva, ja. Nei, jeg bare tenker, eller funderer over hvordan man på en måte skal klare å komme seg fremover på det der.
Ja, et sted jo å begynne.
Ja. Du kan svare Siv på, eller lese spørsmålet fra Siv.
Ja, det Siv som lurer på hva Keshe konkret tenker på når det gjelder å ha kontroll på følelser. Skal jeg lage meg en mix av ganser? Hvilke ganser skal jeg da satse på, og hvilken blanding? Eller skal jeg bare bli gladere, det vil si prøve å øke frekvensnivået mitt uten bruk av ganser? Poenget mitt skal vi bruke gansene? Og da kan jeg svare til Siv ja. Du kan bruke gansene, fordi at hvis du vil at dine følelser skal interagere med de gansene, så trenger du ikke gjøre noe annet enn å tenke at det det du vil du skal gjøre. Og så, hvis du finner den riktige følelsen, så vil du få en viss reaksjon av noen ganser. Og det jo litt det vi øver på i privatundervisningene. Eller i hvert fall som hjemmelekse. Og det jo også det vi vil at alle de andre skal øve på. Og forslaget fra Keshe jo sinkganser i forskjellig styrke. Men du kan også bruke andre ganser.
Har ikke Keshe også sagt noe om at når vi, i hvert fall kanskje når vi inntar sånn plasmavann da, at det hjelper oss til å skille på følelser og fysikalitet?
Ja, det hjelper oss å opprette kontakten mellom fysikaliteten, emosjonen og sjelen.
Men også at man klarer, men det ikke det at man også klarer å på en måte, ja,
Jo større kontakten blir, jo større sjanse har du for å klare å skille de fra hverandre også. Men de jo allerede atskilt, så de må jo ha en viss kontakt, fordi vi jo bare fysikaliteten vår, og så lar vi den styre emosjonene, sant?
Ja.
Altså da snakker jeg som vi som mennesker da, nå har kanskje noen av oss klart å øve oss til å komme litt lenger, men hovedsakelig så jo menneskeheten styrt av sine omgivelser gjennom fysikaliteten. Og det Keshe vil vi skal lære oss å bruke til vår fordel da. Også, sant? I stedet for at vi får det til å føle oss dårlig, da, så kan vi benytte den styrken av de påvirkende rundt oss gjennom våre følelser og inn til sjelen, og så får vi et annet svar ut av de fysikaliteten igjen da. Sånn jeg ser det, det min forståelse av det. Da ser vi Eva viser skiltet fra Ghana. Det Keshe Foundation i samarbeid med Ghana Atomic Energy Commission og regjeringen i Ghana, som har fått 220 000 kvadratmeter med land til å bygge det nye Spaceship-senteret, og dette skiltet da første steget. Har du det andre bildet, Eva?
Ja, 2 sekunder skal jeg finne det.
Det bare et lite bevis på at ting i ferd med å skje da. Der ser dere en del av det som landet til Keshe Foundation i Ghana.
Ja, jeg vet ikke om alle de andre har oppdaget det, men her nede i hjørnet da ser det ut som om de har lagt den første steinen.
De har lagt den første steinen til det nye romskipssenteret. De har det. Og ja, jeg vet ikke hva jeg skal si. Jeg bare utrolig glad for at vi begynner å komme dit. Vi kanskje litt sene her i Norge da, men mye av resten av verden har jo begynt å skjønne at det i ferd med å bli en realitet. Så
det viser også, hvor stærk viljen Det hele startet med en eneste mand, og se, hvor langt han kommet.
Ja, det det. En annen ting det at grunnen til at det skjer i Ghana jo det at det det første landet som har sagt seg villig til å, eller som ikke har sagt seg villig, men som faktisk har gjort det, har skrevet under på fredsavtalen. For å være med å skape en fredelig verden, og ikke være med å initiere til voldeligheter, raseskille, krig. Og diverse andre ting. Jo, vel bekomme å si. Det bare å begynne å leke med grensene. Det det.
Ja, nå har vi jo transcribet så mye, så jeg husker ikke helt forskjellen fra den ene til den andre, men var det 162 eller var det 161 han snakket om å blande en 3-4 forskjellige zinkganser i en liten ball eller et eller annet, og så prøve å leke med dem.
Det var vel i hvert fall 161, det var nok ikke 162. Jeg tenker nok det var 161.
Ja. Det kunne jo være verdt å se den igjen for Siv, hvis hun hadde lyst til å prøve å leke med det.
Ja, hvis du går inn på... Nå er jo jeg inne på... Jeg kan ta så
Jeg har jo laget linken, den er i chatten, der det er hele spillelista. Da er det bare å trykke seg til nummer 161 ute i kanten.
Ja, så står det i beskrivelsene under videoen, hvis du åpner den og så, eller går inn på den respektive videoen, og så står det i beskrivelsen under, der det står more, mer da, så kan du kanskje se sånn noenlunde hvor det er, tenker jeg. Men jeg skal ta bare avslutte, så kan vi finne ut av det. Så da vil jeg bare si tusen hjertelig takk for at dere kom til denne offentlige undervisningen fra Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute den 22. mars 2017. Og vi har gått gjennom nyheter og undervisning fra den offentlige engelske undervisningen, nummer 163, den 16. mars 2017. Hjertelig takk for at dere kom alle sammen.